Hey there friends, what's going on? This is David Potts with Song Notes, and I want to answer a quick listener question in today's videos. This one's coming in from Randy. Randy, thanks for your support on Patreon, really appreciate it. Now Randy's asking about the D chord, right? And stretching your pinky to play these notes, right? On the third or fourth string typically. Now I have a bunch of songs that use this technique. For example, check this out. We have Rocky Mountain High by John Denver. We also have Norwegian Wood by the Beatles. We also have Feathered Indians by Tyler Childers. And finally, we have Copperhead Road by Steve Earle. So all those songs are going to use this technique of having your hand rooted in the D major position, but basically stretching your pinky down here. Okay. Now there is another way to play these same notes though, and that is by using your ring finger. Now this requires a different sort of position for the D major chord. We're actually not pushing down the thinnest string at all, right? And there are a couple lessons where I do this. For example, I recently did it on Cover Me Up by Jason Isbell. And also, I did a country version of Green Day's Welcome to Paradise in the style of Tyler Childers, more or less, and that one looks like this. And in both of those, you can see that I had my finger rooted in this position, and I'm using my ring finger. So the question is, and this is what Randy wrote in asking about, is, I taught Cover Me Up using my ring finger, but Randy has an easier time playing that with his pinky. Is that okay? And the short answer, I already told you this, Randy, but yeah, it's totally cool. If there is hand issues that are stopping you from doing something the way I teach it, and you can do it another way, go with it, run with it if it's working for you, for sure. And I want to talk just in this video, take a few minutes and quickly explain why you might want to use your pinky versus your ring in general circumstances, right? I can technically do both, but sometimes I prefer the ring, sometimes I prefer the pinky. I want to explain why. So I did make this 2-pager PDF. You can get Patreon supporters. You've already gotten this in your email inbox. Basically, click the link at the bottom. You can download it. This just has, the pictures of each chord position and the tabs written out to help you understand, as well as links to my lessons here. So thanks for your support, y'all. I appreciate it. Really quick, it comes down to this. There's trade-offs of each way, right? There's pros and cons. If you're playing your D major like this, basically to add your pinky, it's more of a stretch, right? Your hand is more firmly established. This is like a tree with more roots in the ground, right? These 3 fingers are your roots. And to have a branch or another root try to establish itself, it's a bit tricky. Now, I actually made a separate video all on this topic and how to get better at this. So check out that video. I'll link that one. The summary is there's lots of ways to practice this. It comes down to hand angle, right? The more you angle your hand in like that, your pinky will be easier to stretch. Also, if you practice with a capo, it's going to make it easier because the frets up here are a bit less wide than they are down here, right? So you can sort of develop the muscles down here and get used to it before you try to do it with no capo, right? So check out that lesson. But basically the idea is the benefit of this version is you can do all the things that you can normally do to a D major chord because these 3 fingers are here, right? And then it makes it harder to reach your pinky, but if you can do it, it's gonna work out well for you. And then Norwegian Wood, again by the Beatles, is probably the prime example where you want this thinnest string really included in that strum, right? So getting that stretch in there is gonna be helpful, okay? Now, the other way to do it with your ring finger is gonna have basically your index and middle on these 2 notes right here. This makes the stretch way easier, okay? It's less going on, your ring finger is already in the vicinity, and you also have your pinky available to help out as well, if there's notes you want to add on as well. So basically, this makes the stretch easier. I will say though that what you lose from this is you just don't have that thinnest string in the mix, really. Now you could play a D sus2 with an open D string, and that's actually what in Cover Me Up by Jason Isbell, I think that that sort of tonality just works well. That D sus2, hear it, right? That works well. So certain songs it's going to work really well. It's all about the vibe you're going for. In my other song, Welcome to Paradise, you know, that Green Day version I talked about, in that one I was going for a deeper sound. I didn't want the bright treble notes, right? I wanted the more, you know, the more neutral D. This is almost like a power chord D. It's neither major nor minor, right? Whereas this D, it has this F sharp up here. And this F sharp is the major third in the D major scale, and that's what makes this a major chord. It's very bright and cheery sounding, but sometimes you want the neutralness, the rawness, the sort of ambiguityness between light and darkness. Okay, so that's basically the answer there, is you can use either one. It's going to depend partially on your ergonomics. What are you trying to do with your song? What are you trying to play? Do you need to play the thinnest string? Do you need to add a D sus2, a D sus4? In that case, you might want to use your pinky if you can, right? But if you're fine with that more raw, primal sound, use this fit because it's going to make the ring finger version a bit easier to play. Okay, so I have links for all the lessons I referenced in this video available on my website, and they're also in my PDF along with the pictures and the tabs and everything. You can get those over at my website, playsongnotes.com. And again, in each of those songs, I'm going to break this down for you. And I also have that separate lesson talking about the pinky stretch. So if this is giving you trouble, check out that lesson, okay? It exists for you. I just wanted to make this one to explain the difference between using your pinky finger and using your ring finger. Neither is right, neither is wrong. It's all based on context. And that's the final bit of wisdom I would bestow upon you here. So when you're playing stuff on guitar, you're using multiple chords and multiple shapes, and it's complicated, right? And you have to look to what else you're playing. What other chords are you playing? What riffs are you playing? What does the song sort of want and require? And then use that information to inform your decision, right? If you can cut one corner because it's going to set you up really, really well for some other difficult things you need to do, that's totally fine, right? Yeah, I want to let you know you can do that. And in general, if I teach something one way and you find it easier to do something else another way, that's cool. Run with it. I'm not in. It's totally fine. Do whatever works for you, and that's pretty much all I have to say. So thanks a lot, y'all, for your support. Randy, I hope this answered your question. Best of luck with your playing, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care, and until then, my friends, bye-bye.